We begin this half hour with your voice, your vote, and two batches of polling focused on the Republican candidates for governor and the Democrats running for the open U.S. Senate seat. Released just a few weeks apart, they paint a very different picture of where the races stand right now. 13 on your side, political reporter Josh Alberta shows us the numbers.
New numbers are out as we get closer to August, including in the races for the Republican nomination for governor and the Democratic nomination for the state's open U.S. Senate seat, some of the most contested races in this key battleground state. The results from the Glenn Gariff Group for the Detroit Regional Chamber are pretty striking compared to one from Emerson College Polling and Wood TV just a couple weeks ago. In that earlier poll, businessman Perry Johnson was in a statistical dead heat with Congressman John James in the Republican race for governor. And Congresswoman Haley Stevens was in third place in the Democratic race for Senate. But in these new numbers released on Tuesday, Stevens is in first place and James holds a lead. Now, it's a pretty big switch up between these two rounds of polls, so why might that be? And that could depend. There are certainly a lot of different details between the two rounds of polling, but after the first poll a few weeks ago, you did see this argument from at least one pollster working for Stevens that this may have underrepresented older and non-college voters where Stevens may do well. But regardless of how those methods are seen, in Tuesday's Glenn Gariff poll, older age groups made up more of the respondents, and for those 55 to 64 and 65 and older, Stevens was the top choice in that Democratic race. It's when the new poll got into the younger ranges of age where progressive candidate Dr. Abdul El-Sayed held his advantage. In Glenn Gariff's new Republican primary poll, the share was even bigger. Well over half of the people polled there were 55 and older. John James held a sizable lead among groups 50 and older. It's important to note, though, that in these results, often the biggest groups were the undecided voters. Things have certainly heated up in recent weeks, but it's a big reminder that many voters are still making their decisions, and the race still ahead is a long one.